Well, hello there. Once again, this is Pastor J.D. Hatfield of the Riverside Christian Fellowship in Hernando, Florida. As always, you can find us on the web at voiceofvision.org. Proverbs 21:25 says, "The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor." Imagine two young boys, both who dreamed of being Major League Baseball players. Then one day, God comes down and tells the two boys that they will both make the major leagues when they grow up. Both boys are tremendously excited, but they process the good news very differently. The first boy says, "Cool, I guess that means I can just do what I want to do. God promised me that I'm going to make it." He promptly begins a life of leisure, where he sits around all day eating potato chips and watching TV, never getting any exercise, and certainly never practicing baseball with any real zeal. God's promise fuels his desire for ease. The second boy, however, acts in accordance with the promise that God made to him. He goes out and practices real hard, and he says to himself, "I'm not only going to make it to the major leagues, I'm going to make it to the Hall of Fame." God's promise fuels his desire for godly success. As the boys grow up, it's more of the same. The first boy becomes more and more engrossed in the idea that he'll make it. He revels in that alone, never paying attention to his body or his craft. He plays the big shot, growing more and more proud as he works his way up the ranks of Little League, high school, college, and eventually all the way to the major leagues, getting one big break after another, all the while never improving his skills. Unlike the first boy, though, the second boy isn't able to coast on his way up. He breaks his arm in middle school and then his leg in high school, but he never gives up. He remembers the promise of God. He knows that what God starts, God will finish. So he acts on that truth by working out what God is working in him. He stays diligent. He doesn't give up. And he doesn't rest on his accomplishments either. He forgets what's behind, and he presses on towards the mark. Through all the ups and downs and all arounds of life, he learns that he can do things, all things, through God who strengthens him. Years later, you see that God was true to his word. Both boys made the major leagues, but their journeys took much different routes, and they had much different results. The first boy, who was slothful, makes the majors, but he never cracks the starting lineup. Just as he did in his earlier years, he now sits idly by, watching others do what he now wished he could do. He plays only 1 year, and then he gets demoted. And then a year later, he's out of baseball altogether. He has his memories, but not much else. Since he didn't pay attention to his body, he begins to lose his health at a very early age. The first boy becomes bitter against the second boy, saying he got all the breaks and it was all luck. He grows cold against God, acting as if God didn't keep his promise, and he dies in his embittered state. The second boy, he made the major leagues too, but he had a wonderful long career, and when that long and distinguished baseball days are over, he's elected unanimously into the Hall of Fame. The second boy goes on to live a long life after baseball and becomes an outspoken witness to people of the power, promise, and purpose of God. How many people are like the first boy? And how few people are like the second boy? Have you been lazy about the promises of God? The prophet Daniel read the promise of Jeremiah that God made to Jeremiah that the people would be 70 years in captivity. Daniel 9:2 reveals that he understood that. And he understood they were almost to that 70 years. And he might have used that as an occasion to relax. But as Daniel 9:3 reveals, he got more fervent and acted in accordance with that truth by crying out to God. Now that is what God is looking for. Friends, you need to bloom wherever and whenever you're planted, or else you're going to be stuck there in the mud of mediocrity, wishing you could be a tree, and you won't even try and be a twig. Do today what others will not, and you'll do tomorrow what others cannot. You might be making it to heaven, but do you really want to be more like Jesus? What's going on right now with you and Jesus? Are you sitting idly on the bench? Are you on your way to the Hall of Fame? Is the engine of God's promise creating passion or pride, action or apathy? You may have a desire, but do you have the fire? You may have a dream, but do you have the steam? Well, there you have it. Friends, I hope this message was a big help to you. Until next time, I'll see you here, there, or in the air. God bless you.